Last time on Dragon Ball Z, after Buu unleashes juvenile fury upon Babidi and the unsuspecting Z warriors, it seemed that all hope for a successful fight against the fuchsia-tinged terror was truly lost. Smelling blood in the water, Buu decided to have a bit of fun with his wounded prey, tossing Vegeta around in reckless celebration as one of the few remaining piñatas left at his birthday bash. Unable to stomach things any longer, Trunks came to the rescue of his father, sending Buu flying into timeout for a while he and Goten attended to the warrior's wounds and Big Green paid a visit to Babidi. Vegeta, knowing that the reprieve wouldn't last long, embraced his son for the first time before knocking him and his companion out cold, leaving them in the care of their Green Guardian while he prepared himself to do whatever it took to see Buu gone. In a storm of righteous fury, Prince Vegeta gave his life in an act of what he believed to be equivalent exchange, a life for a life, as he expelled all that he was in the hopes of ending the Majin threat. Piccolo returned to survey the battlefield and to his surprise found not only the magician Babidi still very much alive, but somehow Majin Buu as well, as the tiny pieces that made him up slowly began to converge, leading Piccolo to make his escape post-haste to warn the others and work on a plan for the future after learning that Vegeta let him down one last time in more ways than one. Back at the crater, in no time, Majin Buu was back to his big body self, emoting the day away like nothing ever happened. Whole time, Babidi is sitting in the crater on the last quarter of his last stand meter, waiting for a revive with severe anticipation.
Boo! Boo! It's me, your surrogate father Babidi, who loves you very much. You must come quickly and heal your dear old dad. I am what the Earthlings would call on my last legs, if I still had those attached.
Nothing. Buu just stared blankly at this dude and even had the nerve to smile while he's one letter away from Kira putting his name in his black book. All sense of kindness then faded immediately, giving away to urgency and desperation.
Majin Buu, if you do not get your 7 chins in gear and heal me this instant, I swear on your tiny vest, I will seal you away as I laugh my way to hell and tell Deborah about what happened.
This was enough to wake Buu out of his stupor, utilizing his apparent Willy Wonka levels of magic to heal Babidi back to full health as the rodent mounted his pink kaiju and vowed to make the Green Man and those little boys experience hell for what they did to him before he left this damnable planet an uninhabitable rock. Big Green caught up to Krill and the boys in no time flat and did not hesitate to give his old war buddy the news. So let me get this straight, Vegeta even jobbed his sacrifice? Well, I go to hell if I admit to you that might be the funniest thing I've ever heard. Hold the boys for a second, I gotta message 18, she'll never believe this. No, Krillin, now's not the time. I'm beyond pissed, but right now, our priority is to get these two to safety. I can't even believe I'm saying it out loud, but these are our best shot at making it out of this thing alive. As the quartet made their way to the lookout, we returned to the wasteland where Son Goku is finally awakened from his episode-spanning donkey punch. Ah, jeez, did he really have to hit me that hard? Next time I see him, I'm gonna tell him about that time I smacked Bulma's crotch back in the day. That'll really piss him off. While exploring his different avenues of revenge, Goku noticed that he could still very much sense Majin Buu's energy. But for some reason, Vegeta was nowhere to be found. Don't tell me he screwed this one up too. And come to think of it, he couldn't sense his son's energy either for that matter. But he did notice Green and Krill alive and well, so he decided to do a little instant transmission jump scare and try to get himself up to speed on the happenings of the arc as soon as possible. At the lookout, the two biggest downers out the whole crew were blackpilling each other on how screwed they were. Krill asked Dende if he'd be cool if he brought his girl and his baby moms up to the lookout for a while, considering it was pretty much doomsday at this point. Dende agreed, but on the condition that they not bring any extra clothes or valuables, because he saw how long they'd been shacking up at Roshi's and intended for them to be out of his condo long before they established any type of squatters' rights. Before Krill could attempt to justify his bumminess, all things came to a halt when a hero in an orange gi arrived on the tower, making his presence known after being sidelined for so long. Goku was devastated. How the hell did Majin Buu manage to wipe Kai, Gohan, and Vegeta out during his concussed stupor? Krill didn't even allow the man time to grieve though, talking about, it's all good now, Goku, you're here, you still have what, like a whole 24 hours left on Earth too? That gives you some time to try out the moves I told you on Chi-Chi, get a quick nap in, and then take out this Majin Buu jerk with plenty of time left still on the scoreboard. See, nothing to worry about at all. Goku didn't even look up from his Euro squat, informing Krill that he hates to be that guy, but he doesn't think he's really got a shot against this Buu dude either. He was kind of banking on Buu being a cream puff considering that Supreme Kai turned out to be a supreme disappointment, no offense. His fight showed him that he and Vegeta were kind of dead even, so if Buu were able to punch his time card with that little effort, far be it from him to pretend he was going to do much better. Damn, if only Gohan and Vegeta were still here, then we might have a shot. Goku, I know you've been reading JJK and think that jumping is the answer to every problem now, but I don't think even a 3-on-1 with all you guys will be enough to put this thing down. No, Piccolo, I'm not talking about the Mahito treatment. I'm talking about fusion. That actually could have been a game changer. Back when I was following some of these Metamorian dudes on poker night back in the afterlife, they taught me this move where two beings with equal size and power can fuse together and gain a crazy boost in strength. I thought about asking Vegeta if he wanted to see what our wives... Look, never mind, I'm getting sidetracked. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Both Gohan and Vegeta are dead now, so the plan's worthless. Krill chimed in, hold up, Goku, you can still make this work. When you die, just go up there, do the fuse doohickey with Vegeta or Gohan, then come back and stomp out Boo, saving us all yet again, and assuring me a long virile life with my stacked wife. That's a negative, Krillin. Goku's here on the Cedar Point Good Boy Points Day Pass. He's not able to come back. And even if he could, let's just say that him and Vegeta will not be attending the same dinner parties. The lookout grew silent. For the first time, it really seemed like the Z homies were actually cooked. But then an unsuspecting ally aided to the brainstorming session, presenting an idea that might just turn things around. You know, guys, Trunks and Goten appear to be pretty close in size, and their power levels even seem to match as well. Could it be possible for the boys to fuse? Goku exploded in joy. Popo, you brilliant black son of a bitch. I could kiss you right now. Piccolo, I'm gonna spend my remaining time training the boys in fusion, but they're gonna need more practice, and I'm gonna leave that in your capable hands. Piccolo nodded in agreement, but as excited as he was, the Namekian needed to bring his companions back to Earth, reminding them all that this was a major gamble. Goku, no offense, but I've seen those boys, and with their attention span from all these damn YouTube shorts, it's gonna take a hot minute for them to get this technique down. While that's happening, there's gonna be a whole lot of people out there that's gonna get turned into baby Ruths by this Majin Buu. And to be even more real, there's a big fat chance that he finds us before our child soldiers are ready and the whole Earth's having a big family reunion at Yima's while we put in applications for a new planet. Jeez, Piccolo, anybody ever tell you how big of a buzzkill you are? No wonder Namek ain't got no hoes. But it's all good. As long as we get the Dragon Balls, all we gotta do is a quick field trip and we can make everything right again in no time. Then, as if the heavens themselves were mocking him, the sky went completely black and the whole crew knew that they could only mean one thing. Krill chimed in, reminding them that the B team of the Z fam likely gathered up the Dragon Balls in order to bring back all the people Bulma's baby daddy put in a wood chipper at the tournament. Dende then started to panic, pulling out his mobile Indeed account looking into vacant guardian positions for other planets, as he reminded them that if they use up all their wishes now, it'll be a whole year before they can put their plan into place, and he's got a sneaking feeling that the Earth may be far past its expiration date by then if Majin Buu has anything to say about it. Only slightly soiling his gi, Goku put his fingers in position for instant transmission, while our perspective turns to the Z-Squad peanut gallery who are waist deep in making demands of Shenron. The best part was seeing Videl's reactions to the dragon summoning. This poor lady had no clue what she was signing up for when she started smoking on that Son Gohan pack. I know she had to have been thinking they snuck some bath sauce into her Gatorade or something, because there was no way what she was peeping right now could have been real life. But to the veterans in the Z crew, this was just another Tuesday, as they congregated and were getting up to exactly what Big Krill expected, firing off a wish almost immediately to bring back the fallen tournament goers, minus the most evil ones, as Yamcha eloquently put it, then got their brains to buffer and thinking about what to wish for next. That's when Goku appeared out of thin air, as he does from time to time, and at Dende's recommendation, requested Shenron spend the rest of his evening at Texas Roadhouse, as his services at the moment were no longer needed. With only one wish being used up, Dende calculated the Steiner math and determined that in 4 months' time the balls will be usable again, giving them the slightest chance of making it through this blue situation with their lives and planet still intact. While Yamcha and the gang began grilling Goku, Kibito, who previously got grilled, was now back on his feet and could not possibly have been more confused. Deciding not to ask too many questions considering the sorry circumstances upon which he got erased, Clifford the Big Red Guardian immediately turned his attention to his purple life partner, picking up his faint energy reading and zooming to his location as fast as his silk press and colossal frame would allow. After a short flight, Kibito found his charge and immediately in extremely sorry state. He always wanted to be there to see Kaioshin get his back blown out, but this is definitely quite a bit different from what he had in mind. Wasting no time, Cliff put his magic fingers to work with the most professional of brotherly caresses and brought Supreme Kai back to full health, to the god's extreme surprise. When Kai came to in order to assess why he had feelings in his toes again and his mohawk was arranged to perfection, he nearly hopped out of his moccasins when he saw his life partner Kibito smiling back at him with arms outstretched. Kai took the briefest of moments to ask why and how he was here, and he knew for a fact that he saw him get hosed down by Deborah, but ultimately decided they had more pressing matters, and his priority at the moment was to reach Son Gohan. Babidi could now sense the enormous key on the planet that had to belong to none other than Majin Buu. Knowing that they were unsuccessful in crashing the birthday bash, Cliff was ready to write the planet off as a lost cause and take Kai to the far side of the universe. But here he was saying that one of the humans they came across was the key to stopping this abomination? For the life of him, he couldn't process it, but then again, just 15 minutes ago he was worm food on an all-soil diet. So who was he really to judge what was possible or not anymore? As they made their way to the human boy's location, Kai got Cliff up to speed on the goings-on since Deborah banned him to the off-screen filler hell, namely that these Earth Saiyans over here in Universe 7 are as powerful as they are developmentally challenged. With their combination of strength and lack of common sense, it could be exactly what they need to turn the tides on this Buu situation. Shortly after this, the duo arrived to find Gohan slumped in the middle of the forest with woodland creatures, preparing to give him a first-hand lesson on the circle of life. Kai, assessing the severity of Gohan's wounds, decided that putting his plans into action would call for desperate measures, commanding Kibbles to transport the three of them to their realm expeditiously. Kibbles didn't even want to hide his bigotry. Kyle Sheen, I would have gladly licked the sweat from your loincloth if you asked me to, but there is no way I'm bringing this Ningen back to us with the realm of the gods. His mere presence there will pollute the air quality and cause housing values to plummet 1,000-fold. Beto, there's far too much to unpack with that one statement, so I'm going to ignore all that and tell you for one final time. You will transport us and this Ningen back home, and you will do it with a smile. Have I made myself clear? And so, the decision was made. With great reluctance, Kibito transported the trio to the land of the gods, while our perspective moves to the lookout, where Goku was getting the rest of his friends and family up to speed on exactly how screwed they now were. Almost all of the crew, barring the presence of Bulma's parents, who were once again proving themselves to be the realest of ones, refusing to abandon their pets in the apocalypse, and opting to stand 10 toes down at the Briefs estate, switches at the ready, welcoming Dragon Ball Resurrection should the worst come to pass, as well as Tien and Chaozu, who are still living in polyamorous bliss with launch and have been completely off the grid for the last 7 years. After taking the census, both Bulma and Chi-Chi noticed that there were a few significant figures still conspicuously missing from attendance. Where the hell were Goten and Gohan as well as Trunks and Vegeta during all of this? As Krillin began to nearly lose his lunch on top of his poor daughter's head.
Now where'd you say Goten and Gohan are?
It's a very pretty girl over there.
Goku decided to take the lead on this one. Look guys, you had to find this out at some point, so I'm just gonna rip the band-aid off. First, the good news. Goten and Trunks are fine. They're just taking a quick involuntary nap while we work out a few kinks. Now for the bad news. I'm turning the boys into child soldiers to serve as Earth's last line of defense against ensuing apocalypse, and also Gohan and Vegeta are dead. Majin Buu's birthday party got a little bit crazier than expected. News went over well, with Chi-Chi only feigning as opposed to committing the double murder self-deletion as all in attendance who knew were initially expected. Bulma, while devastated, held it together just a bit better. Likely because she already had a feeling some time ago that Vegeta was gone, and Goku's current report just served to confirm what she already knew. Before anyone could question Goku further on the whole Weapon X planning process, all in attendance were suddenly assaulted by a grating but familiar voice.
Hello, Earthlings. It is the great and handsome Lord Babidi interrupting your moronic cognitions with a matter of great import.
In the cities and countryside, the populace instantly began to regret their decisions to mass adopt Elon Musk's Neuralink prototype. It seems like those conspiracy tubers may have been onto something after all. To their great dismay, the dialogue continued.
So just a bit earlier, I was planning to subjugate your entire worthless race. I ran into a bit of trouble, and I will be recruiting each of you mutts as my personal lapdogs to help me track them down. Everyone make sure you have airdrop enabled in your Neuralink, and I will send you their images now. And I swear on my honor as a magician, it will not be a high-res PNG of blue waffle. I have matured in my ways since the early days of the internet.
In the next moment, everyone's minds were flooded with the images of a motley crew. A green man in a turban with an immaculately nude jawline, and two ragamuffin elementary schoolers wearing karate gis who began to look quite familiar to those who managed to escape with their lives from the most recent Strongest Under the Heavens tournament debacle just a short time ago.
Oh yes, I remember your faces, and I humbly request that you surrender immediately, or regretfully there may be drastic consequences for your lack of compliance. Here's a quick selfie of yours truly, and accompanying me is my big body bruiser Majin Buu. He is absolutely invincible as a fighter, so don't even bother attempting to stand up to him. And just as a quick showcase of what I may be forced to do should the Green Man and his hood rat children refuse my request, I will use the city behind me as an example.
Our attention is then forced on the Majin Buu, watching as the pink predator raises his arms, lifting seemingly every individual within the city into the air. Then seconds later, he fires a beam onto the massive crowd, turning them into bite-sized jawbreakers, no Ed, Ed, and Eddie, and hails them all with the ferocity of Tony Montana testing out his own supply. Then, with the countless thousands helplessly filling his mouth, no Puffy, Majin Buu chomps down with all the force his incisors can muster, making a light snack out of the entire city's worth of people, while the Z-Forces looked on helplessly, slowly beginning to realize the depth of the evil that had been released upon the world. And right here is where we'll call it, homies. This section of the story is so interesting because it's the first time in a while where we see the Z-Crew in what feels like a sincerely hopeless situation. They have absolutely been in awful spots in the past, but there was always some form of silver lining in the background, giving them and the audience hope that a change was just around the corner. Whether it be awaiting the arrival of Goku back when things were rough on Earth and Namek, or having Trunks, Piccolo, and Vegeta to fall back on during the Android and Cell saga, there always felt like there was at least some kind of trump card the crew had left to rely on when things hit the fan. But here at this point in the Buu Saga, things are looking foobar. While Gohan and the boys are definitely X factors for changing the arc, looking at their current circumstances, Bobby has dropped them into an absolutely hopeless situation, forcing them to make an impossible choice. Do Piccolo, Goten, and Trunks remain hidden, allowing them even just a short while to train in the new techniques Goku had hidden up his sleeves, but this means leaving the millions of innocent lives down below damned to hell on Earth while they remain in their fortress of solitude, ignoring the pleas of the helpless? Or do they take the heroic route, give in to the terrorist demands, but dooming their only current hope at a long-term dub in order to avoid more collateral damage, in the vein that Bobby and Boo will end their destructive spree if their demands are met? Hella interesting situation, and one we don't often see the Z-homies forced into. Tune in next time as Bobby and Boo continue their destructive spree across the planet in an effort to lure out Piccolo and the rest. What choice will the warriors make in the face of the magician's impossible demands? And will it even matter at all when up against a force as impossibly strong as Majin Buu? Only one way to find out. Be easy, y'all, and catch you again in the next video.